Numbers and money go together. There are numbers you will need to know to be prepared for when you're awarded a contract, but also to make sure that you're profitable. In this video, I'm sharing 3 must-do money tasks before submitting your proposal. Hey, welcome back. I'm Felicia. Make sure if this is your first time here on the channel, go ahead, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the trainings that we share here on this channel. Our main objective on this channel is to get you to winning government contracts. Take your business from 6 figures on to $1 million a year, and then on to those $1 million contracts. So make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Today in this video, we're talking about money, what you need to already have on hand, what you may need from outside your company, and the important numbers you don't want to forget. At the end of this video, I'll definitely put a link to my government contract accelerator program. So if you're looking to take your business from the private sector and move it into the government marketplace so that you can get to those $1 million years and $1 million contracts as a government contractor, make sure you look for that link. And if you want to take further what you're learning here in this video, maybe you need some help implementing, the government contract accelerator program is where you want to be. One of the areas I see companies getting stuck all the time when they're submitting their proposals to the government is pricing. Pricing out what you're going to provide to the government. And it's even more difficult when you provide a service, which is why getting through the pricing trap, one of the first things you need to know is what your approach will be as it relates to that project, that opportunity that you have before you. How will you approach it? Now, once you know your approach, then you'll know how you're going to price out the project and where those numbers will come from. All right, so let's get into 3 money tasks you must do before you submit your proposal. The first thing we want to focus on is your cash flow. You want to make sure you have enough cash flow on hand to float the project until it can begin to float itself. If you're awarded the contract, do you have the money to mobilize? I'm talking about putting boots to the ground, getting the resources you may need to start the project. Maybe you need some materials, or maybe you need to hire people. What does that look like? And do you have the money to do that? Will you be able to make payroll? Maybe you already have employees. Will you be able to make that payroll? Maybe you're going to hire independent contractors. Will you be able to pay them timely? This is need to know information before you submit the proposal. All right, the second thing we want to talk about is outside cost. How will you price out the project? Where will the numbers come from? Will you need vendors to get materials from? If so, you need to get pricing from them, right? If you're going to sub out some of the work to other subcontractors, you need their pricing. And it could be you're going to do the work yourself, which that's fine, but then you're going to have to price it out, do your own estimate for the project. Or say it's a project and some of the work you're going to do in-house, some of the work you plan to sub out. So in that case, you can do a couple things. You could estimate the entire project yourself, that's fine. Or you can elect to price out the portion that you plan to perform and then have your subcontractors send in their bid numbers on the portion that you plan to sub out to them. Let me just say, enough time for you to price out the project, whether you're doing it in-house or you're going to get numbers from subcontractors. You have to give yourself enough time to get those numbers in and then compile the numbers so that you can come up with your final number. Because don't forget, however you decide to approach a project, at the end of the day, once you get to the final number of what it's going to cost, you still need to include your markup, making sure you also have your direct cost and all indirect cost as it relates to that project and you being able to deliver to the government what you're promising them. I want you to comment below. Did I leave out a money task at this point that you're doing in your business that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments if there's a money task that you are doing prior to submitting your proposal? Put it down in the comments. Let us know. Have you ever had a problem putting together your final numbers for a proposal? I've personally lived some of the horror stories that I am still hearing today. The bid is due and you're still waiting on numbers from your subcontractors or from your vendors. That is a bad place to be. So don't let the lack of numbers coming in from subcontractors prevent you from being able to submit a proposal on an opportunity that you know you have a shot at winning. All right, so let's talk about these inside numbers. Remember I said you have to have your direct costs, your indirect costs, and any subcontractor numbers, and then you're gonna put your markup on it, right? So let's talk about these numbers. What portion of the project will you price out yourself? So as you're looking at a solicitation, you're breaking down the scope of work, you need to decide what portion of the work you will perform, and then you need to price that out. Again, don't forget your direct cost and your indirect cost. Oh yeah, and don't forget those profit margins. We're in business to make money, right? Okay, always put your profit margin on there. I sometimes hear this, that we have, government contractors out there bidding work and they're not marking it up at all. Well, who wants to break even? What's the point in that? Now, sometimes it could be a strategy for something else that's coming down the pipeline or something like that. Different conversation, we're not talking about that. But one, that's not the norm. I can tell you that. So we always want to make sure that we're going to be profitable in any opportunity that we submit. And the only way to do that is to make sure you account for all costs. And the only way to do that is to understand the scope of work. All right, so there you have it, the 3 must-do money tasks before you submit your proposal. Remember, where are the numbers coming from? What will you price out yourself? What will you have other contractors price out? What are your indirect costs? What are your direct costs? And what will your profit margin be? Now, in order to get to these numbers, you need to be doing your back-end accounting work in your business on a consistent, regular basis. All right, I always say, don't let your back office prevent the success in your front office. Now, getting this right, this will determine your ability from taking your business from the private sector, moving it into the government sector, and then getting to that $1 million a year as a government contractor. I know some of you have already done that in the private sector, but let's go over into the government sector and do the same thing. And then we can get into those $1 million contracts and those multiple year contracts. That is the sweet spot, and I can help you find yours. So if you want to take advantage of the trillions of dollars the government is spending every year with minority and small business owners, make sure you get into these government contracts. I'm telling you, they are looking for you if you're a service-disabled vet, a woman-owned small business, minority-owned small business. They are looking for you, and a lot of times opportunities are going unawarded to these various classifications because they don't know you're out there, or you just don't have the capacity to deliver at the level that they want you to, which is another thing I help my clients with inside of my government contractor accelerator program. We focus on building capacity. Your capacity is going to be important. We talked about the 3 must-do money activities. Those money activities that you're doing will help in determining your capacity as it relates to cash flow and your ability to float a project until it can float itself. So you always want to be working on your capacity, increasing that, and then also increasing your resources. So there you have it. Make sure, check out the Government Contractor Accelerator Program. If you want support, book a call with me. We can make sure it's a good fit, and we can get you on your way to your $1 million a year as a government contractor. Now, if you've been hanging out with me on this channel for a while and you have not subscribed to this channel, why not? Don't you think it's time for us to partner on your journey to those $1 million years and $1 million contracts as a government contractor? If that's the case, at the very least, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. And then I'll see you right back here real soon. And remember, you're just one contract away. Bye for now.